Hi, everyone, and welcome to another whatever issue edition of Legit Ideas. This is a vlog kind of thing that I do where I just talk off the top of my head. I'm not answering comments, I'm not taking callers, I don't have a guest, it's just me. It's a monologue of sorts about something that has been on my mind. And the thing that I want to talk about, the thing that has been on my mind recently is trust. Not trust in any way other than what our culture is going through, and trust in the context of something very specific, which is something that was also the subject of the last time I ranted here on Legit Ideas. It is artificial intelligence. And the reason I wanted to talk about trust is that I posted a message on my. Wait, is this out of focus? I posted a message on my Instagram promoting my ebook Darshan, and I got a comment on it by someone who was asking if I used AI to write the book, the story. And I said, no, I'm just using AI to create promotional art for the story because it's cheap. You, if you've ever gotten in touch with an artist to make something, you know that it ends up being expensive. And I don't really want to go through all that right now because AI art is a cheap alternative to promote my work. But I also foresee a problem in the coming years for any artist or writer, which is that we already have a culture where people say, "Hey, art वाट में क्या रखा है? ये तो कोई भी बना सकता है." And what do you think will happen to that attitude when things become even easier? When Chunnu, who does not have a single creative bone in his body, is able to write an entire book thanks to a chatbot, or Munnu, who has the color coordination skills of an 18-wheeler truck, starts creating art by just typing a few words into into an AI art generator prompt box. So this attitude is only going to get worse, and the price for this is going to be paid by artists like me and you, perhaps, who will have to go the extra mile to prove that their work is not AI generated and does not use AI in any significant way. Now, is it possible to stamp a piece of creative work and say that AI was not used in its creation? Perhaps, but that is where we run into the problem of trust. So, I think that there are going to be a few different types of creators in the future. One type will be people who use AI in their art, but they don't use AI to create their art. They're using AI to help them create art. So they might create a painting, but the background was created by AI. They might write a story, a work of fiction, but the idea for the story was generated by an AI, right? Now, at the moment, at the very least, I'm old fashioned, and I am probably not going to be the person who says that I'm probably not going to be the person who generates ideas from AI. I am probably going to be the guy who continue like this is my idea notebook. This is where I store ideas, and there are like tens of notebooks in this room where I have scribbled ideas for stories. So I don't use AI to generate ideas. There is nothing wrong with generating ideas using AI, but I personally don't think I will be doing that. And the problem that people like me are going to run into is how to effectively communicate to my audience that AI was not involved in the process of my fiction writing at any point at all. Because as I said, Chunnu and Munnu are going to get into the business. The businesses the business already has a bunch of chunnus and munnus who don't know how to write. The business also has chunnus and munnus who get other people to write and then put their name on top of it and don't give credit to the people who actually wrote the thing. Those are age old problems, we have always had them. But at least until now, Chunnu and Munnu had to feed on the work of someone actually creative. And right now, Chunnu and Munnu will just be able to use a machine to make stuff. And for a large number of people, we unfortunately don't live in a country where art is valued. So, for a large number of people, that distinction between human created art and AI created art will not matter. मेरे को गाना मिल रहा है उसमें क्या है? By the way, last week Google I saw videos which were showing AI generated music, and the bot was created by Google. So you type prompts and it creates a 2 minute, 3 minute piece of music. Now, imagine what happens to all the artists and musicians who create art that you and I use in our YouTube videos. So that's something to think about. If a kind of generic music creation can be outsourced to the machine, maybe that's a good thing in some ways, so that actual artists can go on to create art that only human beings can create, if there is such a thing anymore. But increasingly, and I have said this before also, increasingly we are looking at a future where every aspect of a creative work, the video aspect, the sound aspect, the idea aspect also, is going to be done equally well by machines. And even though there may be potential good effects of that, like a lot of information dissemination, like basic reportage, basic video reportage, can be outsourced to machines, and editorial opinion and creative writing, etc., can be done by human people. uh, Human people, wow, I'm already in my head, there is already two partitions. One is non-human people and human people, and it's still 2023, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this trust matter is going to become an issue in the coming few days, coming few years, which might as well be days. I said days accidentally, but it might as well be days, the rate at which things are going. But I was wondering if there would be a trend that begins where writers and artists begin to stamp their work as no AI. Like they want to have that amount of. I know that as a reader, when I read a book written by a human person, I want to know that that human person wrote the story. Even if it is another person who has not been given credit, it bothers me. And I'm sure I can't be the only one here. Reading, in essence, is building having a relationship with the person who wrote the thing that you're reading. If it turns out that the person who we think we have a relationship with is not who we thought they were, or not even a person with whom a relationship can be had, it might be a problem for a number of people. Maybe this will stop being a problem sometime in the future. But as I said, I am a cranky old man who is suspicious of everything these days. So I have made the decision to start marking at least some of my work as no AI. I'll make very clear that at no point in the creation of this work was AI involved at all. I wonder if there's a stamp. I wonder if there's a logo that is like, I know that ArtStation, the online art platform, already has a tag that says no AI, and I don't know if that is only to tell bots not to scrape the art, or also something that is put up by artists to make clear that they were not using AI in the creation of their work. But I think it might be a good idea to have some kind of a logo that, it's like it's like that green spot people put on food packaging to make clear that this is completely vegetarian. It may be a lie, but at least it's a thing that people can put their trust in, right? So I wonder if in 4 or 5 years, when someone opens a book, they find a stamp on it saying no AI, just so that the reader knows for sure that the story was written by a human being and AI was not used either to generate the idea or to uh, do the actual writing. By the way, I don't want to imply that idea generation is something so human that machines can't do it. I think the more human thing is idea recognition. If human beings are, if there is one quality that I would say writers must have, it would be, apart from writing and all that, obviously it would be the ability to recognize a good idea and start working on it. Machines can put words together, and when we look at those words, that order of words, we might think, hey, that makes me think something, and maybe I can build something on top of it. But that's a different matter. I think that if a writer is as finicky as I am, they should clarify right in the beginning of their work that AI was not involved in the creation of this work. And this needs to become a trend sooner rather than later, because in 5 years time we might be at a stage where people just assume that everything is made by machines. Like the comment that I mentioned earlier, where someone just looked at a promotional artwork for a story and asked me, was this written by AI? So they didn't mean it that way, obviously, but it did make me think, and that's why I'm ranting here. But yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about. Thank you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I will see you when I see you next. Until then, bye bye, and take care of yourself. And may AI bless you, I suppose.